subdivision Omega Research Labs presents Line Art Cowboys video on Assassin's Creed franchise. My time in the Animus, a simple reflection of Assassin's Creed franchise, focusing more on the recent titles and my experiences with them, and my closing thoughts regarding Ubisoft and Assassin's Creed Shadows, because there's been some fuckery with Ubisoft and the stupidity that they have brought forth with the marketing of that game. Now, as you can see here, here's the games I played on Xbox with the gamer score, the completion percentage of the titles: Assassin's Creed 1, 2, Brotherhood, Revelations, 3, 4, Liberations. Not too many people played Liberations. That was actually a pretty good game. That's some interesting shit. Assassin's Creed Rogue, which came out at the same time as Unity, Origins, Odyssey, Valhalla. Those are the ones I have played. As you can see here, here's a custom picture thumbnail I did for Origins. I do have that background. I do have that picture as my background on my computer. Origins is a fucking dope game. And then Assassin's Creed 1, my second favorite in the franchise. Altair is number 2. He's the man. And finally, Assassin's Creed Revelations, which is my number 3, because that's when Ezio was too old for the shit when I finally liked him. As I stated, this is Assassin's Creed Origins. This is my completed game. A little over 101 hours. This one I started at some point. I don't remember. Oh, normal. That's okay. Now I kind of remember. Alright, I'm going to load into this one. I've never screwed with the Animus hacks. I'm not sure what that is. I'm not going to bother with it right now. I'm just going to use this file as a reference point. Show a few things, kind of, while I discuss a little bit about the game for this video. Now, I loaded into my favorite region in the game. This is probably my favorite spot. Now, this is part... That music is so fucking... I love it. Now this is part 2, the Cursed Pharaohs DLC. Excuse the drift on the controller. It's acting up today for some reason. Now this area is pretty dope. I like it. I like it a lot. And the story that's within this arena, this level, is pretty cool too. There's a few side quests that are nifty. But I'm kind of a stickler when it comes to like detail, design, and that. So like lower end studios like indie to AA, I will give leniency to. Because that's a lot of time, it's a lot of resources that they can't exactly afford to be putting certain details and certain types of details in the games. But, you know, higher end AA to like AAA companies' titles, after I complete a game, I beat it, whether it's, you know, 60% complete or 100% complete, I'll go back and replay it, usually on an easier difficulty, just so I can like really pay attention to detail, cracks in foundation, decay, some areas, how pristine and fucking beautiful they look and when they're crafted. like the light on those obelisks you see. That didn't happen until after I beat the boss of this area. Come on, you can do it. I mean, the lighting effect. Now, there are times in this game shit will just pop. The lighting or the shadows just kind of all of a sudden occur. It's Ubisoft, you know what I mean? Sometimes their optimization takes a while. Sometimes it's on point. Sometimes it almost never comes. AKA Division 2. And how long that fucking took. Even after they fixed it. DLC came out later and expansion came out, and then boom, fucking poor optimization all over again. And I'm on a lower end PC that's kind of old. And this game looks damn good, and the effects in this game are pretty good too. Even as I'm traveling down, if you notice the moss on the stone, the coral, the fish, the fucking fish. Avowed came out and it was touted as a AAA title from a AAA studio, and they couldn't have fucking fish in the game? Are you serious? Like, what are you doing? You're not drunk. You're either lazy or you don't have the resources. And to a dickhead like me who replays games to look at all the attention to detail in the game, you're just gonna look like a fucking asshole. That's cool. I really gotta charge another controller. The drift from both the sticks is a little rough. But that sounds, oh, the bird humming and chirping in the background, oh man. I like that shit. I like the soundscape kind of music. I'll try and see if I can get it to cue back into place. I definitely got a problem with that. Whoops. Those birds are inactive. That's funny. So that has something in common with fucking, Avowed. Alright, I'm gonna reference something here and then I'll go to the base game. Kind of getting to where I was going to discuss a bit. Kind of screw with the sticks here a second. So I can kind of get the drift to kind of chill. This is part of the Curse of the Pharaohs expansion. This level. Yeah, you guys remember the movie Gladiator? The scene where he's walking through the wheat in the movie. His hands, he's brushing it against the wheat. When I played this game, the first time I played this game back on PS4, I noticed that when he was going through a field of flowers. I think it was dandelions. Yeah, the music's kind of glitched. It's probably for me reloading this game a few times over. But anyways, he does the gladiator thing. Now, earlier in the franchise, the character might do it. I just don't remember. The stars of the star, that's important. Keep that in mind when I discuss the gear. But yeah, he does a gladiator thing. I thought that was... That was pretty cool. Something I noticed first time around I was playing this. Alright, let's go to Seaboard. Alright, now Bayek is a Magi, which is basically like a protector, sheriff of Egypt. He goes where he's needed. A husband, a father. He has a wife, he had a kid. Keyword had. I won't get into the details, but shit goes down that alters him and his wife's life, and it turns them into assassins, killers. The whole point of the base game, hence Origins, is the story of how the Brotherhood is formed, how the organization gets its roots. The Hidden Ones expansion, DLC 1, kind of covers the reformatting of the Bureau, what happened, what it turned into, and what they eventually truly started following as far as guidelines went and go, and why they became and ended up becoming the assassins
out of the way
in the true format that they are later in the centuries. Curse of the Pharaohs goes over artifacts and basically the apple, how it affects people, why it's used to affect people, and what it's doing to the region that it's in, and how when it's being inappropriately used, what it can do. I like the expansions. Like, I got these games for the PC when they were on sale during tax season. Ubisoft is like all other companies. When it's income tax season time, they put their shit on sale. They want that profit, even if it's just a little bit more instead of full-blown retail price. Now, I know because of Shadows recently, and the failures, the debacles, and the bullshit with Ubisoft. Fucking boba tea morons. People were saying because, now they're hurting and there's bad press, that now they're putting their shit on sale. No, that's wrong. That's inaccurate. Anybody who's a cheap fuck or who buys shit dirt dick cheap knows and understands when it's income tax season time, shit goes on sale. That's usually when people buy stuff. That's what it is. That's how I've gotten my library on Steam for fucking years, let alone Ubisoft. And the reason why I bring that up is Ubisoft also has a rewards program system since I think it was Assassin's Creed 2 or Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. One of those titles, they started it and it just got implemented with every title after all their games. So as you're playing the games, you do challenges, story modes, whatever. You get these in-game, I shouldn't say in-game, but you get currency attached to your account to use to unlock items for in-game stuff. Like anything with this symbol here, some of these are through the expansions, some of these are used through the rewards program. And then the ones like these you just unlock from story or vendors in the game, in the world. And then just the flat out rewards ones will always have this symbol, the Ubisoft rewards. I have like 255 tokens attached to my account right now. So if I were to buy Mirage or Shadows, I could use that, go to the rewards section, look at the content, unlock it, boom, it's there for me to play, whether I play that game that day or like 2 years from now, 2 years later. That'll be there attached to my account. As long as, well, I have to correct myself, because the whole thing a few years ago, if your account's inactive for like a year to 2 years plus, all of a sudden your account gets deleted, which is complete and utter bullshit. So log in at least twice a year, play for like an hour, have some activity attached to your account so it doesn't get deleted. But anyways, Ubisoft rewards will have this symbol as well. That's how I got these outfits. This one I'm pretty sure is a reference to Far Cry Primal. Primal was actually a pretty good game. I liked it. I don't really like the Far Cry franchise. Far Cry 1 was my favorite. Still is to this day. The whole I liked the mutant story component with the powers and shit. That was cool. Far Cry 2 sucked. Far Cry 3 was good. Far Cry 4, I didn't really care for. I know a lot of people liked it. I mean, it was cool. If you just sat there and waited, what, 10, 20 minutes, you can avoid the entire game. You get the achievement. Technically, you beat the game, you beat the story, you finish the story, whatever, and you go on about your day. Or you do what everybody does. You get impatient and you start the actual quest, which puts you on that long-ass journey to get to where you would have been if you would have just sat there the extra 10, 20 minutes, which is kind of a cool little Easter egg. This one you unlock when you beat the base story. It's a cool looking outfit. It's a little primitive, but I mean it makes sense governing the time that this takes place in. Some of these regular outfits you get through the vendor are pretty cool. Some of them are whatever. Now, I always have hair and beard, but just to show. But it looks like without a hair and beard. Here's my weapons. Everything's pretty much upgraded, the exception of a few here and there. My title is Lionheart. Obviously, I'm going to keep the fucking Lion's Cry bow. It's Predator bow. I don't like the Predator bow. I'll reference that for two things here in just a moment. But I mean, this bow is my second favorite. Then, you know, the weapons. I recommend this one. Anything that's health on kill or health on hit, I would recommend, especially if you're playing on the hardest mode, because it comes in handy a little later, especially when you're facing the fucking elephant bosses for a side quest or deal. That's kind of a pain in the ass. And anything that's health on hit or health on kill will come in handy. Especially if it has a multiplier effect. As you can see, I pretty much got a lot of shit. I don't really use anything except for sword and shield and archery. I don't do the double-handed swords or that. Here's the shields. This one's pretty good, especially if anything that you can parry well enough. Anything with like the effect is nice. These are all upgraded. I remember that Star of the Shards that I got from killing that scorpion. Well, you need those to finish off the upgrades for these. Base game, I don't think it's as much. And you don't need those because, I mean, you don't have the DLC. But if you have the game complete, you're going to need it. And you'll go through the story and you'll eventually upgrade it. You'll get to that. Now the map, I mean, it's typical open world. There's going to be barren areas, and there's areas that are hotbeds and areas that are hubs. Oh yeah, that freaking outfit, and I want to reference that. I almost forgot. You're going to unlock an outfit when you complete all these little tombs. This outfit unlocks once you complete those tombs, all of them. It's got a cool effect. It's like a tin metal voice effect. When he gets angry or frustrated, it really shows. It gets emphasized. Now, there's certain quests and certain like scenes, cutscenes, that he takes the hood down and the voice effect's gone because it's scripted for him not to have anything on at that point in time. But when it's normal stuff or mundane quests, dialogue, whatever, he keeps it on and you can hear the difference in the voice. It's kind of a cool effect. Like I said, the map's pretty fucking huge. It's big. But for like their reboot, the rebranding of the franchise, and this being Title 1 for the rebrand, it's a big map, but it's not as huge. Odyssey is freaking huge. At least it feels and looks that way. It's part of the reason I never completed Odyssey, console or PC. I mean, it's not bad, it's just, it bores me. And it's such a grind that I could go on a tangent about fucking grinds and single player games and certain types of games. All I'm going to say is I really like this Assassin's Creed the most out of the rebrand of it, but they really should have just cut out the Animus, cut out all that bullshit, turn this into a historical timepiece, and kept the story. They could have kept the story and everything, even some of the sci-fi elements if they wanted to, but not been related to Assassin's Creed at all. They could have done something different, something new, and they copped out. Now it works, and the story is good as far as Assassin's Creed part goes. But again, that's also another tangent I can go on about, especially when you talk about the simulation theory and the timeline theory, like Back to the Future timeline. You do one little thing, it affects this, so okay, it branches into a new timeline. So then you got to go back in time to the original point where the decision was made that altered reality, that created a new stem dimensional universe reality, to undo that choice, to just make the timeline one parallel line again. There's a whole thing with simulation theory in this game because of what happens and what you find out happened to Desmond and the character you're playing as outside the Animus, Layla, what happens to her. But that's more of Valhalla. Like, I definitely recommend playing Origins. And seeing the story if you want to get into Assassin's Creed, or you're in it but you're not sure if you want to get back into it or not. I recommend picking Origins up on sale, checking it out, because then you'll know for sure. Now, quests, there's 108 quests. 181 quests. This one I just did. Part of the reason why this is like take 2, take 3. I tried to reload the quest, so I'm gonna have to do a new game plus just to highlight some of these. I would say just use this moment as a reference point and then look up online on YouTube, whatever, for this quest. You could probably see somebody has done it or referenced it. But this quest was pretty cool. You're actually you play matchmaker. So there's 2 characters that know each other, that kind of like each other, but nothing's really written in stone. They don't talk about it. They're dealing with bullshit in the world. And the last little moment, once you wrap it up and the quest is completed, you find out 2 of these characters are getting married, this guy and this girl. It's kind of funny. It shows the more human side of Bayek and him trying to, they're trying to keep him humble. And as the game goes on, and as you do certain quests and do certain things, you see that humanity that he still has, which is nice, to be honest. I'm looking for a particular quest. Where is it? Because it's another like human peace quest. Yeah, here it is, the bride. A young woman stands at the edge of a cliff. She's gonna, self-delete. And you end up talking to her, calm her down. You get a couple of little items, and then you have a nice little dialogue chat. And that's about it. You stop her from doing something she can't take back. There's some quests like that in this game. I don't want to say exactly feel-good quests, but they're like good human peace quests. Kind of show the humanity and the humbleness of this character. Because I like characters that are more stoic, stern, kind of hard-ass bastards, goofballs, and types of characters that are like just outrageously
get out of my way!
Goofball, boorish. That their character development takes a while. I can never relate to it because I'm more of a serious person. I'm more of a hard ass. I get why people love those characters. I understand it. Most people are more goofball oriented. Respect. Some of them people keep motherfuckers lighthearted. They're needed. But I myself, Bayek is my number 1 assassin. Altair is my number 2. Ezio is my number 3 when he becomes too old for this shit. And that's in Revelations. I do gotta replay the others because Ezio could probably get knocked. Kinda wanna show a little bit of the combat. If I can just remember what Gladiator called fucking CMO was. I wish I could remember. Because there's one of the Gladiator Coliseums that I actually have some progress done. Fucking drift on the stick, dude. Take a chance. I don't remember if it's this one or the one more in the Greek area. I don't remember what Gladiator Coliseum it was.
More provocateurs!
Just kind of do this as an example.
Mine now. Another sacrifice to the greatest spectacle in Egypt. The gods will be happy!
Whoops.
More foes step into the arena!
If you're good, the combat in this game is simple.
It is by
Can you feel the blood rising? Our hearts have a new champion!
And if you parry or block at the right moment, or dodge,
Can the
Get that
Siwan
little
survive a
view,
new wave of
and it
fighters?
activates a little special effect or a buff.
The arena claims another blast. More bones for our animals. The Siwan stands victorious!
It's a little bit of the combat, just to kind of give you an idea. But I do recommend Origins if you're going to play it. I'll reference two things real quick before I get out of Origins. Because I'm going to bring up Assassin's Creed Shadows. Now, Assassin's Creed Shadows, I noticed the bird, Sinua, or the eagle, is gone. So you can no longer do this. I think they took it away because it makes the game easy. And you can really plan out your attack on a base and infiltration. I mean, yeah, it makes shit easy, but I mean, the eagle's the bird. It's been part of the franchise for a while now. Like, I think that was a cop-out to add grind time, especially if you suck or it's early on, you got poor gear and you die. You're just going to have to restart, not knowing really exactly what's up ahead. Some aspects, I get it. Makes it harder. Makes it a little more immersive, per se. But you're in the Animus. So, I mean, how immersive can you really get when in the back of your mind, you're in a simulation. You know you're in a simulation. Why do I not have the bird? Like, what the fuck? I think it's dumb. Because now, I'm going to use the Predator bow as an example just for the field of view. It's going to be an over-the-shoulder kind of viewpoint that's like this. Now, it's not zoomed in, but it's like this. And then it'll highlight and target people not that far away. I mean, they got to be within view sight to make it legit, but that's what they did. They took that out. I thought that was pretty fucking stupid. Kind of shitty, to be honest.
Morias para spevasma da tuda nesti.
Όταν σου ανέωξε, άνθρωπε, εσού λέγω. Και πόσα, δεν με νεφερκείς. Χέμι ετφακά, τζάικα.
My Serapis, what an idiot.
This area is off limits.
But
I was over.
Ha! Yeah!
Fuck, he did see me. Shit. That did
You
not
are
work
dead.
like how I thought I was going to. But he isn't. The other two are attacking him. So if you're in a spot around a lot of people, you put somebody to sleep and then pick them with the poison, berserk. That's why the Eagles is nice to have. It's you can really plan your shit out. Them taking away is kind of bullshit, I think. Fucking dickheads. This is where I'm at. And honestly, I'm just going to load in, show a few little things, and load out. I just loaded this to really have an example. But before I load in, one of my gripes with the fucking franchise is when they do these dual protagonist arcs, like there's brother and sister, or there's two people to pick and play as. Why? Because if you're playing as the brother, the sister ends up being the other role. And if you choose the sister, the brother enters that role. So there's no difference in the story. Just pick one, flush it out, and that is your person. Like, I just, you already are playing as someone outside the Animus and someone inside the Animus. Why split inside the Animus? There's not many differences. There's a few here and there, but that's a gripe of mine. And that started with Syndicate, I think. Basically just kind of load into this to show the map, a little bit of the combat, and how similar it is to Origins, really. It's been 2 years since I've played this, let alone having to relocate the files on my computer and verify it. So it's going to take a moment or two, especially Valhalla, when I'm going to capture a little bit of in-game content with that for this video. Now this one has a bounty system as you're playing. So the more you do, the more problems you're causing, the bigger problem you become. The more of a target you put on your back, the more infamous you're known and learned of through the region. I like this game, but it did bore me. Then I imagine once I beat this, I'll have the DLC expansion as well. That's me. That's the character you play as. And these are basically the chieftains throughout the game you come across. And the sister. So if I played as a sister, the guy I'm playing as now, the brother, would be in that place. I get it. You can argue simulation so they can change. You know, it makes it easy. It's a simulation. You can alter and blah blah blah. Fine, whatever. It's a cop out. It's a cop out that makes sense, but it's still a cop out nonetheless. So let's go here real quick. Yeah, I guess after I do this video in the franchise, I should probably beat this.
And I need to leave you. No problem. You don't have any closer. You are so outmatched. Shit! Somebody help!
Oh, I forgot there's abilities in this one. Like actual abilities. Alternate combat. Kind of forgot about this, I know.
Not a bad idea, friend.
Oh, get fucked.
Hey!
This one, the combat is a little easier to dodge certain pedestrian citizens right in the goddamn way. You asshole. Oh shit.
He's my glory!
Where the fuck did he come from?
I will but not for long.
I think my health is low. Yeah, like these games are hard when you start off and your gear's pretty low. You don't have the best gear to begin with, let alone upgraded. But it's not that hard if you just don't get overwhelmed, don't allow yourself to get overwhelmed. Just kind of keep a cool head. Combat's pretty simple. It's been a while since I played this one. I kind of forgot a few things about the combat. But at least it was kind of cool. You got to see me get my ass beat.
I should try to stay out of sight.
The warehouse is off limits.
But I need those records.
And I need 3 fewer doctors. But we don't often get what we want, old friend.
What's going on?
I'm here to check the warehouse's taxation records. But I'm being refused entry.
This matter is out of my hands.
Fine. The wheels of Evia will be greased once more. How much will it cost to get me the records?
That's not going to work this time, Arapios. The guards are under strict orders to not let anyone in or out of the warehouse.
It's an order they will enforce, my friend. Take my advice. Stay away from that warehouse.
That dude kind of looks like a monkey. Like a chimpanzee.
It's lucky your friend warned you.
Haha, he's just as corrupt as the rest of Evia. I fear there's nobody honest left.
Not all mercenaries are cutthroats. I can be trusted.
That remains to be seen.
What's causing the corruption?
A group called the Daggerers strangling Evia with their greed. They work from the shadows, controlling the nation with bribery and blackmail. The reason I need the taxation records from that warehouse. I'm following a parchment trail which I believe will lead me to the person behind it all. But I'm too old to be breaking into guarded warehouses. Perhaps the shine on my drachmi can convince you to do it for me. Hmm?
I'll get the records for you.
Perhaps there is someone left in Evia who can be trusted.
The Dagger. Dramatic name. Any particular reason?
They stab at Evia without honor. The shadows, unseen, bleeding our nation of its lifeblood. A dramatic name, perhaps, but apt.
What can you tell me about the man behind the Dagger?
Other than he may not be a man, only his reputation is known. Cruel, driven by greed, a living noose around the neck of Evia. If we can't find out who he is and stop him, our fate is that of the Retrias. Total ruin!
Where can I find the records you're looking for?
I'll need a lot of evidence to find the person behind the dagger. One set of records won't be enough. They'll be scattered around the warehouse. And be sure to check the guard captain. Anything important he'll have on him.
I'll find the records. The guards don't stand a chance.
They don't deserve a chance. For Evia to survive, corruption and those who spread it must be crushed. I'll wait for you here.
But from the previous video that you just saw to this one, you kind of get what I'm saying, where these games should have just been historical timepieces. Whether they followed sci-fi elements or the folklore aspect or the mythological aspect, the faith-based stuff within these games. They could have kept the Animus out, they could have kept the Templars versus the Assassins, and the person outside the Animus out of this game, and just focused on the actual person who plays, their actual story, and the world. And made a brand new IPs, and had spin-offs, one or two, to each new IP. It did something different. Yes, the combat, like I said, the combat would have been similar and the same. As you just saw, I got to pick dialogue choices. Like, I like that they tried to I don't want to say rebrand entirely or branch out and try new things within the franchise, but sometimes just sticking to the core, what works, works. Like Assassin's Creed 1 up until Origins, it works pretty well. But honestly, I think they branched out too much. You know, as far as the visuals, the game, and all that, great, fine, normal. Gear, combat, you know, it's just typical. This gear system reminds me a little more of Destiny than Origins, to be honest. See, like, they've got some pretty more in-depth RPG mechanics and aspects in this game. That's all I really wanted to kind of show for Odyssey. So I'm gonna have to change that real quick. Hopefully I don't have to restart the fucking thing. That's gonna be annoying. Well, this is Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I'm gonna show a few things, discuss a few things. I might have to do a quick little edit. I gotta change the resolution. When I load it in, it didn't load into the resolution I play at. Alright, maybe not. Okay. So this is Assassin's Creed Valhalla. As you can see, that's my playtime. Now this is take 2, because there's a couple things I forgot, and I was trying to figure out how it was so I can describe and go over it, and then I kind of just fumbled around for a few minutes. So I exited, and then I realized, oh, that's right. So I'll talk about that here in a moment as well. Now this is on a regular hard drive, internal, not on an SSD. I have most of my fucking games that are multiplayer on the SSDs in the M.2 card. I should probably migrate this over to the SSD at some point. Especially because at the time I didn't have an SSD when I had this game installed. The engine this game runs off is fucking... This game looks amazing, sounds amazing. The design is, again, like, as I mentioned in Origins, each game, the design, the details get better. Like, I will give Ubisoft credit where credit is due. I don't like to because it's Ubisoft, and I have a love-hate with fucking Ubisoft here. There is a few frou-frou things in this game. And I wouldn't say this game's woke or anything like that, but it definitely tips the line a little bit with a little bit of the frou-frou-ness. Now, I don't know much about the Vikings or much of the Viking history, so I can't really say if that was socially accepted within their kin and their faith and their way of life, especially in the traditional sense back then. Now, I understand women had a pretty important role and there was warriors.
Drigi erfiði, þá gömul völva í grennd. Hún nokkuð kunnig, helst fyrir galdri hennar.
As I pointed out, the gladiator hand in Origins, he's not doing it. This guy, I don't remember his name. I think it's like Eric. This game's story, I mean, it's traditional in the sense of a boy becomes a man through the journey and reflection of the hardships of life, watching his parents get butchered and, you know, what it does to him and how life just goes and how he becomes a badass. the maps, the world maps in this game were done, I think, with the concept so it's not overwhelming. Because if you think about the Origin maps I showed and the Odyssey map I showed, and then you look at this, each region is broken into like an arena map like this. Fucking drift on the stick. And you can kind of get a sense that they didn't, because it's a pretty big world. Let's go over some of the gear real quick. I kind of touched base on it a little bit in Odyssey. This game, it definitely is more encompassed RPG elements. Like, as you saw in the Odyssey video, I was holding right trigger, left trigger to activate abilities and powers with my attacks. You can do these special moves. Some of them have elemental features, buffs. Some of them are just hardcore action moves with extra damage output. This game does not have a New Game Plus mode, which is kind of lame. I think it was extremely lazy because of how much there is to do in this game. And the grind, that if you did a New Game Plus, it would cut that grind down in half. And it would really show the lack of true story versus the grind. That's my opinion. I mean, there's story and there's shit to do in this game. But it would show just how much shit was added as a filler. Which is why I think they split this game in the manner that they did when they, at launch, you could buy this game base. It only had so much extra content, that was it. And it was more like the meat and the bones of the story in the game. And then if you got the complete version, it had all the extra shit. And then on top of that, there's the expansions, the DLCs for story and exploration that added even more. So I think that was part of the reason that when you compare the original launch base version of this game, it had a little less filler and a little less bullshit apparently, versus the complete package, which if you get the complete package, that's more content, that's more weapons, that's more gear. And I'm wondering exactly how they negotiated what gear to put in the base version versus the complete version. Did you have some gear that was just as good as complete? Or was there only like maybe one or two pieces? Or did you literally have just kind of shit gear that you could max out for some form of benefit versus the complete edition where you had more gear, better abilities, better side effects, better effects? I don't know. I don't exactly know, because again, I got these games on sale during income tax season, which is around February to March, is when Ubisoft does their sales. But back to these abilities and powers, like some of them are pretty fucking monstrous. And if you're playing on hard and going through it, they definitely come in handy. And here's the skill tree. Very Skyrim. Reminds me of Skyrim and also Path of Exile. If any of you guys watching this video has ever played Path of Exile. Kind of. But I mean, this is pretty massive. The Asmongold. The Asmongold tree. I reference that because of his Dark Souls and Elden Ring build. Especially the Elden Ring one with the dual haliberts. Fucking genius. Like, this game took me about like a month and a half to beat, and I had time on my hands, so I kind of sat playing this game for quite a few hours at a time, multiple days in a row. Like, this system's not bad, but again, this just goes back to the precedence. These games, this spin-off, reboot, continuation, they really should have just turned it into something else. Like, I don't mind the RPG element. I like it. It's just, they should have just like I said, got rid of the Animus aspect, got rid of the Templar versus Assassins aspect, let alone side-stitch the whole simulation, time travel bullshit ordeal, and just focused on the faith-based / mythology, folklore, belief system, whatever, of the character, the world itself, and just fine-tuned it for as a historical piece to be an action RPG. They could have had a new route to just make titles and spin-offs and shoot-offs. Oh, that took up all that. I didn't realize. Okay, whatever. Alright, let's go back to inventory real quick. Here's my inventory. Now, the thing that I restarted this video for Valhalla, this. There is a, what's the word I'm looking for? Transmog. You can transmog in this game. And I forgot I transmogged the outfit. Sitting here like, how do I turn this skin off? Because going into here, you see all my gear. I've yet to truly go through a lot of this, but as you can see, here's Bayek's outfit, Bazium's, just a lot of the Assassin's outfit. Altair. You go to a blacksmith and you pay to transmog it. You know, as you can see, the weapon's fully upgraded. Not gonna lie, I did that in take one. I was like one square off, and I was like, oh yeah, whoops. You can use runes, as you can see as well. There's like a rune system. Even that little subtle sound of like a rock shifting, being played with. I like that. It's just a little attention to detail stuff. Here's all the runes. Here's all the mats. Quest, I mean, it's pretty extensive. There are repeatables. I'll fast travel and do that real quick. But this game's world's pretty big when you think about it. Each location. Now, I think it's this one and this one. I can't exactly remember. A couple of these were actually part of like one of the DLC expansions. And then there's an expansion DLC where it's Asgard. And you're literally in Asgard, rocking and rolling. And there's more of the story. And this character's story is pretty wild. The guy you're playing as within the Animus. Because of who he is, how he is. And in the nature of what's leading him and who he's trying to become and wants him to become rather than where he's heading. So there's a little bit of an interesting component to the aspect of mortals being vessels also too. But if you actually play this game and beat it and beat the expansions, you'll definitely understand exactly what I'm talking about. Now then, the reference point, what I mentioned in the previous part, I think it was Origins, Layla and Desmond, and their involvement in the franchise now is like a silhouette to the background. It's cool, I like it to a degree, but at the same time it's like, come on man, this franchise has been on for this long, can't you just wrap this up and then just turn these into historical pieces? Now, how I mentioned some of the base building in a previous part, I think it was Odyssey or Origins. But this place starts off pretty simple. Everything's basically intense, kind of like that right there. Oh yeah, that's that character from Origins who's like a some kind of special entity, really. This is simple, and then it becomes pretty big, and you can theme it. There's decorations in the map as well, things you can add and change. That's okay. Like, I kind of get the point why this one had it. They made it part of the story, part of the grind. What the hell is that? Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot. That's also a specialty, I think. Yep. But like, you can pick things to throw and design for your establishment community, for your Viking tribe. Like, the time of day too is a little bit better, as you saw the way the lighting effect changed, and as you're traveling through parts, it doesn't pop as hard. Now sometimes it'll still pop and just kind of like whoa, but it has a better transition filter in this game than the others. The music score in this game is amazing. But again, if you notice, when he's walking through flowers, fields, and orchards and shit, he doesn't do the hand thing like in Origins, the gladiator.
Do you hear that? Thor's testicles. What is happening over there?
Have you ever known anything like this?
What is going on?
Across the river! The animals have lost their senses!
My very pig chewed through her fence and plunged into the river. She tried to swim across.
Oh, I have seen crows attacking one another. Perhaps this is serious.
It is concerning. My raven may see better. Soon in! Sunan herself has lost her course.
Something must be done.
Do you think we are in danger?
I will look into it.
So there's more even than I even understood originally to begin with after you beat this. Alright, so let's do this quest. Talk to the blacksmith. Hopefully I can show the transmog and some of the stuff with the blacksmith before the dialogue kicks in. If not, just bear with.
Between you and me, Eivor, always thought you'd be a good Jarl.
What have you got for me today?
All my pieces are good, but that one's very good.
See how it shows final appearance reached on the bottom? I believe that is for the upgrades. And then you can downgrade stuff as well and use those mats for other things. If you upgraded an item too far, then you need mats. You don't feel like grinding or whatever, you can downgrade
You have
it
a keen eye for quality.
and swap it over. Then here's the appearance, the transmogs. If you don't like a weapon the way it looks and you liked another one, you could swap the appearance out, which is nice. It's different. This is what it looks regularly like, which isn't bad. It's okay. Obviously, I went with the Altair look, as you can see. But this is how you transmog shit in the game. That's a reference to Connor, Assassin's Creed 3, or however you say that. I'm not going to even try to pronounce that. I butcher shit, and I speak English. English is my native language, so I'm fucking horrible at it. So trying to say that, I ain't even going to bother. Basium, I believe, is the Mirage assassin, which also has a role in this game. You find out who he is, who he really is, and his backstory, which is kind of wild. But yeah, there's transmogs. With each installment, it's gotten more RPG-like.
Ready for battle.
About you and Bridget. When do you wish to be wed?
The sooner I can make her my wife, the happier I will be. But we are fine to wait until everything has settled here.
Enough waiting. Cool your forge and cover your anvil. Let's get you married.
Wonderful. Shall we gather everyone?
Gather your wife and your courage. I will bring the people together. I am honored to stand before you, Gunnar, Bridget, on this bountiful day, to celebrate the strength of your bond and to see you wed. I am in witness of a love that inspires and empowers. I invite you now to speak your vows.
To you, my darling Bridget, I offer this blade, forged in flames that burn as brightly as my heart does for you. A blade as sharp as your wit, as glinting as your beauty. May it sing through the air as sweetly as your voice meets my ears.
Sud dwi 'di'r caru ti Gunnar. Dwi'n efo am lwcus bod fi 'di dod o hyd o ti yng nghariad.
And I give you my sword and my promise that I will stand at your side forever.
Hyd fi 'di breuddwydio am ffiwtio'n hun. A di sôn tawelwch yn hope a premonition. Ond dim mount o sgraen a foresight paratoi fi a sweeping adventure meeting ti. Tiw'r enaid fel dim arall. A dyn as strong a Buratiki. Ac fel as I fierce, but calon yn hedfan dyr y ti.
Such poetry, oh dear. You make me cry, my love.
Let us hedfan efo'n gilydd, trwy bywyd and beyond.
I offer you this ring. And take yours in kind. I will wear it with pride and honor, warmed by the love of so perfect a lady.
And I gwisgo fe fel calon, adoration a ffydd and byth.
This is the greatest day of my life. Embrace me, my love.
Fucking cheesy as shit.
With our couple now bonded in matrimony, now we drink.
My favorite part of every wedding, time to get drunk. Let's talk to the brother first. Now, because of choices you make and the way you play, depending on certain things, he may or may not be here by the end of your playthrough.
It is a strange feeling, brother. Weddings are the beginning of something. This feels like something of an end.
The first happy union in our home. We have matured into something greater. So yes, a beginning and an end, I think.
Alvis, I'm surprised you did not serenade the bride and groom with a verse or two.
Oh, I wished to, I did. But all that came to me were insults and jibes. Another time, I think.
You've been among us for quite some time, Redder. Are you ready to settle? Make a home here?
For a year or two, perhaps. But I am not the settling kind. I am a wanderer, always searching, never finding. Maybe one day.
That's a statement I can relate to. But he's kind of a vendor who's in Origins, Odyssey, and obviously this one. I'm not exactly sure the relevance he really has in the story. I kind of wonder if he's just like an animus piece.
Richard, I give you a formal welcome to our clan and our family. You are a fine addition to Gunner's life and to ours.
Diolch Efior. I couldn't be more happy to go ma. Hoping now but well in a case from each of the years.
Yes, of course. As I say, it is wonderful to have you.
I kind of understand what she's saying, and I hope you, the viewer, do kind of as well. It's kind of funny that some of these people kind of get what she's saying, but they don't really have a fucking clue. That's kind of comical.
Gunner, you old trout. You're a married man. Never thought I would see the day.
Nor did I. And not for lack of trying.
But throughout the entire journey of this game and all the bullshit that takes place, it is cool to have some of these moments in the game. To see the story and kind of see how these people celebrate their bullshit.
I want to thank you for all you've done for me. My visions have lessened of late, and I find it hard to explain how different I feel. Grounded, unified, at peace.
That is good to hear, Eivor. Very good to hear.
This game definitely has the more the RPG element.
And how are the marriage customs in your country, Hytham? Something like this?
Like this in all the most important ways. There are smiles, cheers, and warm embraces. All that is needed, I think.
Alright, let's go talk to her. I'm not sure what's gonna happen. I believe I did reject her and her offer because of who she is.
Randvi, saw you looking a little lonely. Thought I might come and join you.
How nice. Are you enjoying yourself?
I am. I never thought I would see gruff old Gunnar so enraptured by a woman.
Enraptured by anything, for that matter. He's a hard one to read, but I am pleased for him, and for this day of rest and respite. After everything, a few days of feasting will do the people some good. They need this.
They do.
Will you walk with me?
Anywhere. Lead on.
Something has been on my mind for some time. I am no seer, but I foresaw this day long ago. Not Gunnar's marriage, but our situation. Our success.
How do you mean our success?
I mean to say that I saw our settlement flourishing, through our victories in war and in diplomacy. And from the day we set out from Norway, I knew that you would make a fitter leader than Sigurd. It was never in his character to lead. It was always within yours.
I see.
Do you?
You might have warned me.
You would not have listened.
Fair.
I do hope you see it now, in all that you have done for us.
Randvi, you and the people here have done more for me than I could ever repay. I am honored by your faith in me, and your confidence.
As I am honored by your friendship.
And I by yours.
Well, that looks fucking amazing. Goddamn.
Eivor, I want you to know that Sigurd and I are... We are severing the bonds of our marriage. We share a love that is steadfast, and I have faith it will forever be so. But it is not the love of a wife and her husband. It was not an easy decision. But after we talked with honesty, we embraced more warmly than we have in a great while. I think we will be happy.
I hope so. And I am pleased for you.
I am pleased for myself. Sigurd's desires are bigger than any man or woman can offer. He longs for something more.
What about you? What are you looking for?
I have all I need right here. With you. With our people.
I do like a character. And I was careful about certain things, but I did let her know.
I want to say, Randvi, I love you, and I have for some time. I did not pursue it, not wanting to betray my brother's trust. That does not mean I did not desire it. Does that surprise you?
Okay, so that choice did reflect that dialogue. Interesting.
Gods, I worried you saw me as a woman starved for the affection of her husband. That it was loneliness driving me. But it was you, Eivor. Only you. Everything you are, everything you will become.
Randvi, without you, I would have lost my way 1,000 times.
I never told him outright, but I doubt he will be surprised. I think he may have suspected it even, some time ago.
If he suspected it, he never said anything.
He is more observant than I often give him credit for. I believe he sees us as we are, and as we hope to be. We can wait to tell him. Give it a few days, when the feasting is over and everything is settled.
Agreed. I have waited long enough for you, and you for me. What is another few days?
The blink of an eye.
Wow, they actually have a little teary-eye going on. As the hand fucking Oh, man.
Shall we find our way back
Way
to
to break the immersion on
Richard
that
might
one.
give another speech.
That's funny.
We must not miss that.
About that, I have not understood a single word of hers since Gloucestershire.
Really? I find she speaks beautifully. With poetry, even.
Smart ass.
Am I? Come, we should go.
Now, the thing with Sigurd being his brother, they're not actually brothers, blood brothers or that. It's just they're kinships, and they've been friends and part of the community kinship for so long that, I mean, they are brothers. Oh, shit. Remember those whole Ubisoft rewards I talked about in this video previously? Well, that challenge right there, that's going to contribute to another token or two unlocked. I think. Some do, some don't, but I'm pretty sure that one might. But anyways, they're not blood brothers, but I mean they're brothers by community, by kinship. Because of the way their traditions are and the way they interact with one another. I mean, for the sake of argument, they basically are family. It goes back to that statement. Just because your blood doesn't make you family. I mean, this game's good. I do recommend it if you can get it on sale. If you want to get gear and you want to have the experience of this complete, I would say get the complete version. I was wondering if this was going to cut back to regular, or if I was supposed to go back to the dance party.
A new letter.
Oh, there's the letter. I'll look at that later. But yeah, that's pretty much the gist of this game in a bare bones kind of simplistic review.
Trouble me. Am I alone in seeing them? Or do the tales of Svartalfheim hold some other meaning? Perhaps I should warm my bones by the fire. Gather my thoughts for a moment.
That doesn't make sense because I completed that. Alright, so that dialogue just recycled, whatever. But that is Valhalla in a gist. I like the game, it's good. I wouldn't say it's my favorite out of the franchise. Especially for the reformat of it. But I mean, it definitely deserves the credit in the attention to detail. So this is Assassin's Creed Mirage. That is the main character, Bastium, on the cover. As you can see here real quick, just a quick rundown, it's Bastium. He's a street thief who became a master assassin under the tutelage of Razian, who was one of the main characters from Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which he does appear in the game. He has part of the story, and the person who kind of manipulates him and plays as him near the end of the game through the Animus is an interesting connection. And then this is about the eagle vision and the eye. So there is the eagle vision with the bird in the sky, but there also is a mark and execute system that is brought back under just the eagle eye vision. And you'll see that here in a clip in just a couple of moments. Up next, we do have the maps I have found online. One of them is zoomed in, one of them is zoomed out fully. Here you can see the map of the play area, the kingdom that you're in. You can see the names. Up here in a second is a more zoomed out version of the map. Baghdad is on the left, kind of wraps around on the undertone. Next will be the inventory screen here in a moment. As you can see, it's basically just a more simple design inventory system from the previous installments. It's definitely simplistic and minimalist in its nature, which is fine. I kind of like it. It's not so cluttered. And then the inventory part 2 of the screen. Everything you need probably for the upgrades and whatever you collect for the quest. And items like relics, I'd assume. But I mean, it's just the basic screen, kind of like how Origins was. You can always just scroll back to that. Up next is the skill tree. And how I mentioned about the person in the Animus who's playing as Basium. That middle tree, the trickster tree, Loki. That, I mean, if you haven't played Valhalla and you're about to play Mirage, you're missing out. I would recommend at least looking up and watching gameplay footage and like some spoilers, because that's a pretty interesting arc and what's to come. But up next is some footage and gameplay I found. Now, I've been looking up things for Assassin's Creed Mirage because I don't own it. As I'm talking about the games, just did Valhalla. Now I want to check out some of the gameplay combat. So I found this video by this account here. I don't know how to say that. Just search him on YouTube. I'm sure he's got some content. Give a like. Let's check this video out. I did notice something, so I didn't go too much further into it, because when I saw what I did, I stopped and found a video for Splinter Cell's Conviction because of what they did in that game, and it reminded me exactly of that. So we're gonna watch this first, and then we'll watch that. I saw this, and as soon as I saw this, it reminded me of the mark and execute target system from Splinter Cell's Conviction. And I was like, oh my god, they brought that back.
Got it. Come, we have the tail. There you are.
Notice the gold hue when he's dodging and timing it perfectly, just like Assassin's Creed Origin and Odyssey and Valhalla. So it seems to be they're carrying that little mechanic further and further. I would assume it's gonna be in Assassin's Creed Shadows.
There. Drop the dust, coward. Get you.
What? Straight up reminds me of Prince of Persia.
You! What?
almost shockwave just
Evil! Murderer! Help!
Where can we hide?
What is happening to our...
standing guard. Hold on. The House of Wisdom.
This work is dangerous and unclean. We disturb the ghosts of ancient unbelievers.
What's that?
Now, if you recall back, or if you just want to skim back to the Origins part real quick, the gameplay clip I have doing the over-the-shoulder view where I mentioned about how Assassin's Creed Shadows, moving forward, you can only see, over-the-shoulder vision kind of marked target system. Here would be a prime example of that with the mark and execute system they're bringing back from the Splinter Cell Conviction game. Speaking of, let's show a clip of that.
In Splinter Cell Conviction, Sam Fisher has some new tricks to take down terrorists who threaten our nation's safety. His most important new skill? The ability to mark and execute his enemies. Marking is when you tag an enemy, which puts an arrow above their head. You can even mark some objects, like say a chandelier. Earn an execution move and you can take out marked targets in one blazing instant. Each weapon has its own number of available marks. A machine gun might have only 2, but a silenced pistol might have 4. So there's a bit of strategy in picking your weapons before heading after terrorists. Do you want stopping power or additional marks to tag the bad guys? You earn an execution by performing hand-to-hand takedowns. These alone are worth the price of admission. If you've got a gun that makes a lot of noise, like an assault rifle or shotgun, Sam will smack his victim unconscious. He has some cool moves, sure, but the real treat is the pistol takedowns. I'd say they speak for themselves. Once you've earned an execution, the mark above enemies become more than just a convenient tracker. When the mark is gray, it means the enemy is obstructed from your view or is out of your gun's range. But when it's red, it means the instant you press the execute button, that person dies. Just because you've earned an instant kill doesn't mean you're in the clear. Other enemies will still see you if you pop out into the open or are looking in the direction of your muzzle flash. You have to play it smart.
Yeah, they definitely recycled that asset, that mechanic, and brought it back. Now, to me, my opinion, it makes sense with Assassin's Creed, let alone with the skill tree and just the movements in this game. Splinter Cell, in my opinion, it did not work. It was not needed. For me personally, I did not like that feature at all. Splinter Cell Conviction was also a Gears of War kind of style-based game, and I fucking hated that game because of it. Gears of War is Gears of War for a reason. Splinter Cell is Splinter Cell for a reason. And that annoyed the piss out of me. But that's a whole other discussion for another day. But that is some of the gameplay that I looked up and I saw and I found out for Assassin's Creed Mirage. It's interesting. It looks pretty fluid. But I mean, it seems a little more honed back. Somewhat. From Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla. And we're going to be moving on. And here we are, Assassin's Creed Shadows. The title, new installment that's coming here real soon. Pause the video, look at the breakdown to the right. It's a little bit of a listing. Price point for the Ultimate Edition, really. They've had an Ultimate Edition for quite a while. But it seems to be with marketing and advertising, they're not really showing the ultimate pricing anymore. I'm not sure if it even exists anymore. They may have just broke it down into deluxe and got rid of it. I'm not exactly sure yet. Speaking of marketing, boba tea was quite a big fad for a couple of years. And speaking of more marketing and just the actual game design in general, this guy does a pretty good breakdown and analysis of the game, because it's supposed to take place in feudal Japan, but you end up finding out there's more Chinese-based architect and influence in the game instead of Japanese. How'd they fuck that up? They didn't do the research or due diligence, that's for sure. This guy got a copyright claim against his video, so now he's going to have to swap the music out for something else. Other content creators like Hypno, Smash, JT, and others are getting copyright claims or strikes because they've been criticizing, rightfully so, Ubisoft and just their products in general. I wouldn't be surprised if I get one because of this video, to be honest. Here is a delay, the first delay statement. Here's the second delayed statement for the game's release. And the release date regarding the game. What took place in a historical notion. Yeah, Ubisoft. They claimed, do things justifiably, and they do their research. Well, somebody ain't. Somebody at Ubisoft isn't doing their due diligence. Here's a disclaimer. Digest it, read it, remember it. From Assassin's Creed 1. Wait for it. Disclaimer from Assassin's Creed 2. Keep it in mind. Disclaimer from Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. Wait for it. Disclaimer from Assassin's Creed Revelations. Disclaimer from Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered or Unity. I forget which one I pulled this from. Keep it in mind. Here's the characters, the playable characters for Assassin's Creed Shadows, both of them. Wait for it. And there it is. Yeah. Community's reaction, because Ubisoft got on a soapbox and started to slander people and started, claiming everyone's a bigot in some shape, way, or form. Community reacted, rightfully so. If they wouldn't have gotten on the soapbox and did what they said, things probably would have been differently. But that's the price you take when you try and virtue signal Ubisoft. I agree. And this pretty much wraps up my video on the Assassin's Creed franchise. My simplistic analysis of what's to come. They failed. This was a marketing opportunity, and they just failed horribly. Finally found the arena I'm looking for. This is Horde mode. Well, I just kind of wrap up my conclusions and my thoughts. The rebrand of the franchise with the RPG mechanics, the inventory system, and the way it functions and operates. As far as gameplay and that goes, it's great. I do love it a lot.
The gladiators are ready!
But as far as the actual story itself and what's going on within the worlds between the Templars and the Assassins, I think, honestly, they should. They focused a little too much story on the characters in the
brave Siwan kill yet more
I love the story
of our mighty gladiators.
The story of the guy from Odyssey's okay. It's not bad. But Valhalla's story, that guy, I can't remember how to pronounce his name. It's like Elvor.
I can hit him.
It's not Eric like I thought it was, which is very stupid of me.
Got a clean shot.
Just the personal stories of these characters are good, but I think they focused a little too much on them and not enough
The
on
spectacle
what's going on
continues.
outside.
New
They
fighters
diverge from
enter.
that while they're milking the franchise. Now you could argue once they find the perfect timeline and the perfect simulation to build and construct, maybe they'll start to focus more on that and not the Animus and the Animus stories. The people you're playing as. I don't know. But I don't really think they have an idea what they want to do. I think they just have a generalized brain bubble of how they want it to go.
The spectacle is not over yet.
The combat's been getting better
these
through
new
Origins,
gladiators.
Odyssey, and Valhalla. Combat looks really good in Mirage for what I showed and saw. Fuck off, dude. You are moving too quick.
fueris, conemo pro amici.
I don't know where they're going. After Shadows, who knows if the franchise is going to continue or they might take a 5-year hiatus before they try and attempt to make another installed series. They might even have one already in the works. But because of the backlash, they're probably going to keep that on the tight for quite a while. I'm not really hearing reports of how many units the game sold in general. Physical or digital.
The C1 still stands, but new opponents are here
I can
to
see them trying to
end
do
his
something in
challenge.
Russia. That was on the plate there for a while. World War II format. As far as gameplay and how the game's been developing, yeah, it's gotten better. I'm not going to deny that. Except for some of the stupid fucking choices they made, like taking the eagle vision out of the bird. I just... Depending on how Assassin's Creed Shadow goes, and with the release of it, we'll all find out exactly what's going on.
Four men ready to fight to the death.
The way it's been going and how it's going is even going to continue to stay around. I hope you stuck around long enough for this part. If you did, in the comment section, leave a comment. Do you like pineapple pizza or no? One of my favorite customized pizzas is pineapple pizza with bacon and jalapenos. Shit is amazing. Standard normal pizza is supreme pizza. But this has pretty much been my analysis and breakdown. It's been very simplistic. One day I'll probably do a bigger, broader analysis of each title. But this is kind of like my first video doing this, something like this in general. So I went with a just very, very simplistic, generalized, broad stroke. I really hope they take time and they just and they do a new franchise or do a new IP. Because if they would have just branched off, they could have easily made, like, take Valhalla for instance, and with the traditions, what those people believed in, and how they believed in it, they could have easily turned that into a very fantasy-based game, and probably amazing RPG if they would have been smart about it.
There will be no pause in the slaughter. New blood has arrived.
I think Ubisoft is afraid to move forward and continue forward while they're just focused on making money. But their virtue signaling's caught up with them.
You will pay, corpse.
We'll see what happens. as long as the combat keeps getting better, and they really do need to re-implement the stealth. Make that a bit of a priority again as well. Maybe with Shadows again. I'm not buying Shadows or playing that for a while. Maybe for a couple of years. We'll see how it goes. So this has pretty much been my video. Hope you liked it. I have other content. If not, that's fine.
The end has come for you.
Like, share, subscribe. Have a good day. This has been my video. Peace.